Welcome back to the Coffee Show, everyone. Second edition of the Coffee Show on tour. First stop, Berlin. Next podcast, dual guest situation. So we've got Nicole Battcefeld, Montgomery of Germany, and Vladyslav Demonenko.
Yes, that's correct.
Natively Ukrainian. I'm getting pretty good with the Ukrainian names because a lot of my favorite boxers are Ukrainian. So obviously you've got Alexander Usyk, one of the best. Then I always forget his first name though.
Klitschko?
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko, yeah.
What's his first name?
No idea actually. Sorry.
Vasily Lomachenko.
Yes.
Vasily Lomachenko. Then you've got the Klitschko brothers as well. But welcome to the Coffee Show. We'll start with you, Nicole. So you're like the most winningest German barista champion ever. So you've got under your belt a Brewers Cup, barista, and coffee and good spirits win. So
2 Brewers Cups.
2 Brewers Cups. Okay, yeah. My apologies. So what would you describe the German coffee scene as being like? Because I'd say a small portion of the listeners to this podcast come from Germany compared to some of the other countries. So like what how would you describe the Berlin and German coffee scene?
It's really interesting because I've also worked in Australia. So there's this comparison where it's obviously very different. And also in the last 10 years, it's changed so much. And it actually had its ups and downs. Like one year got really successful and the next year got like recessive again, kind of like. So I think before COVID, we were on a really good track and we were doing lots of events and like you could see like the shops pushing each other and the baristas really interacting with each other. Like there were events all the time. And then, with Corona, everything kind of like crumbled apart and it showed how many expats make the Berlin coffee scene alive. Like everyone had to leave, everyone had to go back home. And then we were stranded without anyone who wanted to work as well. And then
so the local cafes rely on people from overseas.
Heaps. And then also because like when I worked in Australia, there was so much passion and there was so much after work activities. Like, hey, do you want to stay? And we do a cupping or we do we roast at home. And like I was just exhausted from the day. I'm like, are you serious? You still want to do coffee stuff afterwards?
They're fanatics.
And it really is like a whole culture there. And they brought that here. But then when they left, the kind of like culture left as well. And I feel since then, Berlin has been struggling to get this vibe back.
We need to get it back.
We really do.
We
just need to get the joy back. And like, we want to serve great coffee and we want to get better. And it's not just a job. I think we had a situation there for a couple of years where everyone's just like, oh, I'm just working a cafe. It's just a job.
Do you think there's the clientele here for it? Like, you know, in what makes, I guess, Australia the scene that it is because it's a coffee craving country. Like everyone just can't live without it. Is it the same in Germany?
And people are so educated in Australia. Like people know their stuff. Like they go in and they ask for blends or they know what a single origin is. And in Berlin especially, it's like it's just so many people and it's so everyone's always in transit. So you don't really rely as a shop to be serving the best of the best because you'll have customers anyway. And a lot of these customers just want what everyone else has. So it's difficult, I think, in the mindset of a Berlin shop owner to go out there and make something that's more and that's special because maybe it will not get appreciated. And I think that held a lot of people back. And then Vladi came and just did it. And now we have a beautiful landmark in the Berlin coffee scene, which finally upholds excellent specialty coffee service with knowledge and with outstanding service.
So that would be Kolo Coffee. So is this is your business? Kolo Coffee is? Tell us a little bit about it.
So the Kolo Coffee is Ukrainian. So first of all, Kolo is Ukrainian word for circle. So my idea was behind to make a place when the people could connect through the coffee. But then we adjust to my personal background, which is competition. And then I was thinking that the competition is like the joy that we have like 10 or 15 minutes if we are lucky enough to present it. But then we try to turn it daily, and try to do daily competition experience in a regular coffee shop. Yeah, so that's what we try to do there, because analyzing like a market, the Germany market, because I was in Berlin in 2019 and was like really big hype. It was World of Coffee here, and everything was thinking about like, okay, Berlin is the capital of the coffee in Europe. You know, everything happening here, all the trends, and then as Nicole said, it's dropped down, and then I was here since 2022, and I saw this like slowness, and then the bigger companies just working on their own and then doesn't grow much, but they're still successful, you know, because as Nico says, a lot of people over here. And then I understand that I cannot be this part of the game. I need to be completely different to get my spot in a city, you know.
Yeah, right. So there's a large Ukrainian diaspora in Berlin now, or because obviously the wars displaced a lot of people. So
depends, comparable, yeah. I don't think so. I think it was big in the beginning, and then now it's slowed down and people spread out. Actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And did I read correctly here? You're a medically you're a doctor?
Officially, yes.
Okay. So how old are you?
29.
29. So 29, doctor, own coffee shop, move countries. You look like a bit of are you a model? Like he's got this like amazing facial structure.
Okay, you need to stop.
The baby,
gonna go out of here.
the baby blue eyes, they're shining. I mean, you're a good looking man.
Thank you.
You're a very good looking man, and you dress stylishly as well. So, I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
Kolo Coffee, ladies, if you want to, have a go have a peek.
It's about Berlin, you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
So what is it that made you? What appealed to you about coffee? Because like, a lot of people would say, stick to being a doctor. It's a much more,
Yeah, actually, I think my parents still think about that, that I will one day I'm switch again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like also depends on my background. So I was studying, I was thinking about to be a doctor, and I was working a little bit about as a doctor, but at the same way, I was working as a barista in a shop and then in a roastery back then in Ukraine. And all of this brings me to show that I need to make a decision to go directly one way in a proper way, And then I chose coffee because it was much more easier for that moment for me in terms to like pay the costs and myself, Because in Ukraine still, unfortunately, it's not that well paid as in the rest of the world. So that's why be a barista is much more profitable than be a doctor, unfortunately.
Really?
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. I think now it's the timing changing and it's different. So it's still like you have like big respect in society, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then you saw in your pocket, you're like, not really,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, as much as I love baristas getting their bag, I don't know if getting paid more than a doctor is.
Like back then when I was like a teenager student, I was thinking that I want like a big fast result, and then in coffee actually has it, So you as much input you put, you get something, you see it, like when you like dial in or compete or even like community-wise, it's absolutely different because, in hospital, people die, they're sick, they're in pain. In coffee shop, the people are very happy.
Well, I had a job as a milkman for a little bit. Well, it's quite the contrast. Take a moment. You are right. You are right.
People die. Coffee
is Look, I mean, to offer my own anecdote that is somewhat in that line, I worked as a milkman for a little bit. You're still just giggling over there. But I think in that job, a lot of the time there was problems and people just ring you up with their problems. And the great thing about working in coffee is that you just make people's day all the time. If you're doing it right, that is. So I totally get what you mean. And so, Nicole, what are you doing now that you've so you're not really working on bars anymore that I know of. So what are you mainly occupied doing now?
So I've switched to a company, which is actually, it's a German-based company, and we are creating the very first espresso machine system that works with AI in the world. So we roast our own beans, and then we have a grinder and espresso machine combination that can read an NFC tag that we put on the beans. So it knows the batch, it knows exactly the recipe because I dialed it in, and then it sets the microns of the grinder how it needs to, but it also has a moisture measurement inside. So it can like react. Like we as a barista, we know that every day you need to redial your coffee just a little bit, depending on the weather, depending on how many shots you put before, how old the roast is, all of these. And we thought this is very complex and it's really difficult for home users to do this. But surely we are advanced enough in 2025 to find an algorithm to do that. And I find it incredibly challenging and exciting to work for a coffee tech company to look into what can be the future of our machines, because I don't think the classic lever machine, it will always have its fans, but I think if we as a industry just say we don't need technology in our industry or we don't need advanced technology, I think that's just not the way to go.
Well, it's interesting. I just had a conversation with someone earlier about this. And basically, if you look back to, say, like 2 or 3 years before the pandemic, go to 2017. And I think a lot of the discourse around that time was people were legitimately afraid that automation would take their jobs in coffee. And then you fast forward to now that it's really, it's made things a lot more efficient. There's still a very high demand for baristas. And all this automation's actually just made your job easier. And so to give you an example, like an espresso machine used to be manual. Now it's volumetric, or it can even brew by mass. It's hugely helpful. Who wants to lean over and steam milk all day? So the Uber milk's been such a good thing. And the puck press, automatic tamping, been so good. So I think you're definitely onto something there. I'm really fascinated. So what's the company called?
Nunc. N-U-N-C. It's Latin and it means now. And we produce in Switzerland, so it's completely European made. And I think what got me into it is that the people that came up with the idea, it's 3 guys from south of Germany, and they are all not from coffee. So one is a literal rocket engineer. He has a doctor and he works for the NASA of Germany. One comes from a medical appliance background, and another one comes from consultancies, and they all had espresso machines at home, and they all said why is it so hard? We have all of these expensive machines and we want to drink specialty coffee, but especially lighter roasts are incredibly difficult for people at home to dial in.
It's an interesting mix.
It's a very interesting mix, and it just I can't believe that it took 3 people that have never been in this sector or have never worked with coffee, and they come up and start doing this whole project. And from the first idea to now, it's only been 4 years, and we are now having the first machines out at homes, and it's incredible.
So it's a startup essentially, and
yes, it's a young company,
right? And so it's gonna use algorithms to basically just automatically adjust itself to make you the most ideal coffee.
But it's incredible because with every espresso you pull, if you would put it in a computer, you have 3,000 data points. 3,000 data points throughout the whole shot of everything that you can measure. And then there's one part where companies can collect this data points or can measure this data points. And there's a whole different part to find an algorithm to make them work together, to understand how to make anything different. Do I adjust the grind size or do I adjust the recipe? Do I use a different temperature or do I use a different flow profile, because we're using only flow profiles? And that's the hardware itself is it's an espresso machine. But what's really fascinating are all of our developers in the background doing incredible work. It's the first of its kind. It's never been done in the world. And that's fascinating.
So you're building an AI super espresso machine.
Yeah.
For home use.
For home use. That's important. It's for home use. We are not doing professional machines at the moment because we think that the need is a lot at home because it also has thick film heating elements, so it's instantly on. So you turn it on in the morning, it can you can use it straight away, and then you can also because it sets itself. We provide the coffee in 120 gram units. So you can change it. So this idea comes from Nespresso, because if you look at the average Nespresso user, they use about 3.8 different coffees at home.
Yeah.
And a normal espresso machine user is happy if they've dialed in their one bean and they are really scared to change it. And this way you can like in the morning have a lighter espresso, then have a darker espresso after lunch, and have a decaf in the evening, and just constantly change the beans.
Yeah, right. So it's just like a whole lot of interchangeability to suit the customers. It's fascinating. And I think what's important about that is you're right, like the mix of people that are kind of heading the company and their diverse skill set. So what do you do on the day today there? Obviously you're the resident coffee person in the building. So.
Exactly. And not just me. We also have our head of coffee, who's Koen, who's a Dutch barista champion. Okay. So I'm in very good company. But we make the recipe. He sources all of the coffee. It's all direct farm relations, which is really cool because it gives us a tool we provide an app, and in the app we say you can tip, but not us. You can tip the farmer because we know the farmer, and we can provide a platform where the money goes straight via us, but straight to the farmer. And that's also never been done. Imagine a world where you can say like, I love this coffee, but I don't know how to give this appreciation to the actual person who makes the coffee.
Yeah.
Like not the barista, not the importer, the actual person who grows that coffee.
At home.
At home.
It kind of, in a weird sort of dimension or a different dimension, it allows the consumer to kind of have a direct trade relationship with the farmer, which is, like you can better support their work. It's like, I actually think that's fantastic. It's like digitize. It's like, I don't know, like you know how you watch a stream on YouTube or Twitch or something and they can like give whoever the content creator is money. It's kind of like the coffee version of that somehow. It's really, really interesting. What do you make of all this? Do you and Nicole chat about this quite frequently?
We chat about that, and then we also I was testing the machine as well in exhibition, and it's fantastic. It's fabulous, I'd say.
So when you tested it, what's the user experience like?
For me, it's make everything much simpler. This is a machine that I could like bring home to my mom and say like, here you go, and she's like, amazing. Very easy. It's just solve so many like problems that's happening, and then you need like special coffee knowledge by this machine. And it's actually a very nice design. It looks beauty in the same way. It's not like aggressively tech. It's like a very stylish, comfy espresso machine that's just make everything happen,
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and like bringing up the sort of dimension of how you're selling to homebrewers. I was speaking to someone from La Marzocco in Australia who said that La Marzocco sales of home machines now accounts for 55% of their overall business compared to like, I think less than 10% before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like think about that, like 55%. I think one of the issues with La Marzocco coffee machines is they make them so well that they're so durable that the secondhand market's so big. So they're like, the need for people to buy brand new ones is, it's not like, because people are budgeting and stuff a bit tighter these days, like the secondhand market's been a bit more sort of fruitful. But again, they're like the Toyota of like espresso machine makers. They just make them so good that people don't need to buy more. But
I think they're like kind of like superhero brand, because they are not, like for me now, La Marzocco is not the manufacturer. It's like a superhero brand that I want to be at like kind of associated with that. And then it's like this huge collaboration with the Porsche and other artists, Tomorrowland. Nobody do this, and it's all about focusing on direct consumer. I think this is because obviously it's mostly a lot of people than in cafes in the world. Yeah. So it's a very cool, smart strategy.
They played the branding element quite well. Yeah. So with the AR, the Nunc, is it called?
Nunc. Yeah.
Nunc. With the Nunc machine, so is there like a forum or something that there is for like, I suppose there's not really need to talk about how you brew it because it'll know how to brew it itself, right?
It's like the ritual of an espresso machine, of espresso making is still the same. Like you use your portafilter, you put it to the grinder, you just don't have to set it. Like it sets it automatically. Then you put it into your machine and then the espresso runs. So yeah, I think what's interesting to see in the moment is that there's a lot of people in Germany, because we're only releasing it in the German market now, are like extremely curious. And as Germans are very skeptical, they're like, I wonder if it works. And I was super skeptical when the founders told me the idea. It was 2020 and they said like, we want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, Sure. But then they came back and they showed me the first prototype, and I was just fascinated by their drive, by their personalities. They're very likable people. And it made me, I think everyone goes through that in their life when they work in coffee. Like, you always hit a point where you're like, is it worth it? Is it the industry I want to be in? Like, sometimes you doubt your own passion. And meeting them and seeing this machine and seeing the drive behind the company and the people that work there made me really, really reignite that fire, being like, wow, it is a fantastic industry. Like, we can touch so many people. It's such an easy and thankful product to talk about. Every time you tell someone, yeah, I'm a coffee professional, they're like, oh, what? They're really, really interested in it. And it's that part what La Marzocco made incredibly well. They've become more than their own brand. They've become a lifestyle. And because that part was always at the very first founding elements of that company that I'm working for now, you really feel this, like, it's not just a machine. It's a company that stands for a ritual, for coffee tech, but also for the people. For, like, we want to be in people's homes. Like, the founders are having calls with the customers to check in. Like, I've never heard that anywhere. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, it's good that they have that level of interest. And I think something you said at the beginning of your answer there, talking about like having a new project to do as well. I think everyone goes through periods where perhaps they think they're falling out of love with the profession that they're in, but perhaps they just need a bit of a new project to work on. And like the feeling of not growing is probably like one of the worst things you can have in any career, especially not coffee. And perhaps that's like, you know, obviously you mentioned the issues of people not being able to stay in Germany during COVID and things like that. And perhaps that's one of the lingering effects, like, you know, as it recovers, you know, you're kind of getting your foundations back and your legs back, and perhaps it's not as easy to get progression, which I guess perhaps makes a bit of disenchantment.
Yeah.
You guys can speak to that more than I.
Yeah, I definitely think that people were like, why should I even train my staff? Because they're going anyway. Like, there was a huge stop in education that happened in Berlin.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the past, like, you can't really but before 2019, like, every single person who went to a cafe, like, they got a class A education on coffee. And you know that if a barista worked in one of the names in Berlin, they could they would get hired anywhere in the world. And that stopped. Like, I go to a coffee shop now and I ask for varieties, and the staff's looking around being like, I don't know.
House blend.
Well, I think continuity is one of the things that coffee businesses really need, continuity with staff. Like, I think a lot of the time we have a discussion about in coffee, like what producers need, rightly so, what roasters need, what staff need. But I don't know if anyone really, we don't talk much about what a business needs. And because obviously, people associate that with you making lots of money, which I would argue in coffee is not frequently the case. But as I have my own business now, it's like it has needs that need to kind of be met as well by other people. And one of them being like having staff that you can have for more than a year is, I think, really essential in a coffee shop.
And it's so rare.
It's so rare.
It's so rare.
But it's one of the things like we struggle with in Australia because, again, we have a lot of people that come and work from overseas, but the visa system is really punitive there. So like you can only work in one location for 6 months or then they make you go do farm work or something like that. And so it actually, it kind of hurts the hospitality industry in Australia. But I guess where I'm going with this is like, it's really important that you have someone for a year or more because they begin to get operating at the peak of their powers, 6 to 8 months in. So is that something you're going through now with Kolo? And how long have you been open now?
So for roastery, we opened for a year, and then almost 7 months is the shop going now. We were starting with a 2-person, me and one more barista alone. So we was like transferring from the roastery to the shop and managing together this, and then we slowly start hiring more people now. Yeah, and it's very difficult because the the needs what the barista looking for, it's not matching actually with the reality sometimes, because they assuming that they need to be paid very high salary kind of for very, very basic knowledge, or even like, coming at work, it's already done. It's like 90% job for them. Yeah. And our shop is like a bit different. It's not like a student work or something. We're really looking for people who are passionate for coffee. They not necessarily need to be a barista or like very skilled person actually. So the one thing, like when I was like hiring at first, I was like, I need people with experience, with a nice like customer skills, like a basic stuff. But then they just doesn't exist, in this city. They are like, or they're gone, or they are abroad outside of Germany somewhere else, because mostly it's better for them because they're in the same kind of group. And here was a lot of coffee enthusiasts, which is like wanna learn, but they also wanna work kind of because they really want it,
Well, I suppose this is something that business owners probably don't do as well as they should largely. And is that like the pay scale for a barista, like if you're an entry level barista or an extremely experienced barista, you kind of get paid the same, which I think, so we don't really reward, I guess the economics of coffee shops are quite difficult because, people only pay so much and you don't really make that much money usually. But like that's kind of one of the problems with not being able to have people progress, is because like, I think that's why we lose so many talented people to roasting. Like people say, oh, as a barista, I want to go be a roaster. And
which is huge difference.
Why?
Yeah, I look.
I have this mistake in my life. Once I was like barista, and then I'm like, oh, next step, I want to be a roaster. And then actually it's like completely different.
It's a factory job.
Yeah.
And look,
so boring.
And this is no disrespect to any roasters, because it's actually, it should really come across as a compliment, because if you've got that mindset where you are driven by making incremental improvements and, getting that extra 1%, being able to do that and repeat that process.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a particular type of mindset. It's very valuable, very skillful. What I'm saying is like, I just couldn't do it. And I think there's a lot more people like me than, have the mindset and intangibles for coffee roasting. So I think what happens is we people that would love to work as a barista for, a long time, they can't do it and raise a family. And like, for example, you're a new mother as well. And congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
And, I don't think you could support your family working in any country as a full-time barista.
Depends how serious you take it.
Yes,
actually.
I think that was I think I want to like put something in as an information. Like if anyone struggles to find a way how to motivate their staff, I just read an incredible book. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality. And that was a suggested book that I got suggested from my company, and it is fantastic. It just makes you want to go that extra mile.
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the findings in it?
It is from one of the best restaurants in the world, and how it got there, because it's one way to make incredible food, but there's a limit on like how good your food can taste. So how can you be the best restaurant with other things? And they said hospitality, like just be unreasonable, be better than most. Like, for example, like one example was there was a table and the man was about to get up, and then the waiter said like, is everything okay? And he's like, I need to put some money in the parking meter. I'll be right back. And the waiter said like, no, just let me do it, which is your car. We put it in there for you so you can enjoy your meal. And it is such a small and simple thing for your staff to do, to get out and extend the parking meter from your customer. And that is what will stick with them. They will always remember that. And it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go that extra mile. And
so Vlad, when you're at work tomorrow, you're going to top up the parking
he already
meters
does it.
Do you actually do that?
No, he does the
many things,
unreasonable thing. And I think that's why Vlady's shop is so successful, because it's something that Berlin is craving.
You were recently named as the best specialty coffee shop in Berlin.
Yeah.
Right. So Kolo Coffee Berlin, best specialty coffee shop in Berlin 2025.
Yeah.
How did that feel after 8 months of opening?
I don't know. Like first of all, we didn't expect that because like we are like if you will be there, you'll see like it's small shop, completely focused on coffee experience. Even we don't say that we are a coffee shop; we say like showroom, because our case it was like showing what we're doing here and just share it, because this is the most important stuff, because we try to cut these borders when the people are risk their money for a coffee. There we're reducing the risk. You can come, try, and then pay if you're okay, if you really like it. We don't take this like straight away, like payment, coffee, ciao, cacao, yeah? It's never happened. Like you could come and talk and people want to talk with you, not because they will have like, I don't know, nomination for best employee in a month or something. They just really enjoy it, and then this, I think, was part of the hiring and understanding who are our people and who are not. And that's it, because I was working in a lot of shops kind of and consultancy and other stuff. And all of the shops are kind of same model, like quantity of the checks, coffees, cups, blah, 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 and that's it. But then all of them focus on quantity, but not always on the quality. And then I spending, I don't know, a lot of time in my job, and barista as well. It's mostly is like 70% of your life. And you don't want to just spend it, board it in shop making just latte or something. You want to just bring something, learn something. And then when it really happens, you don't feel that you even work, you're just having fun, get nice payment, enjoy your life. Amazing, I think if it will be more of this kind of cafe, I think the people will be much more happier. And not only like compared to shops, but other way around, like a restaurant or something.
I think there's a lot more public discourse about this in hospitality in general, sort of creeping up, that this is now becoming a mainstream discussion, right? And it's a very valuable one to have. And like we look at things like home brewing. There are people that, yes, they brew most of their coffee at home, but they still want that effect of going out to a coffee shop and, the value that brings socially and, for friendships and all those sorts of things and connection. And despite all of that, yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's like you want to go somewhere where you get made to feel pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point if you have an excellent setup at home and if you're like, I don't think I can get better coffee than what I make at home, except for when I go to you.
Yeah.
But so why would I go out? Why do I go out and eat, for example? Like I'm a qualified chef. Like I can cook pretty well. The only reason why I go out and am willing to pay money is because I want to have that feeling of being treated special, of like getting pampered. And I remember my best hospitality experience till this day was in Australia at a bar, and maybe Sammy. And like it was
in Sydney.
Like, I mean, I knew the guys, but we went there and they treated me like I'm the most important person in the world. And then I had the sparkles in my eyes and I was just like, oh, this is so nice. And then I a couple of minutes turn around and they did this to every single person. They did, like, they made you feel so, so special that you, like, this feeling was so nice. It's like falling in love all over again. And that's why.
Yeah. In Kolo, we try to like kind of find psychologically the needs, internal needs, because sometimes you come to the shop, you really don't know what you want, or like you risky to try something coffee that you will not like. And we try to ask the open questions to find the way or connection with each customer individually, which is like sometimes it's a lot for barista because you're talking a lot during and also you need to like make a perfect brew and other stuff. But it's actually, you see the input interaction. You don't see this like cold answers, Yeah, I think this is the thing what we try differently.
So do you speak German as well?
Not really. No, not at all.
Yeah. So you can get by here with little to no German?
Yeah, actually. I think this is the thing about Berlin. Like here you could live and don't know German, don't speak German, and you will be a bit all right. But now I feel like a bit in the way that I should learn it. Because for me now it's like the part of the respect to the city, you know? And I kind of miss it because I always like overwhelming or spending my time on something else.
Yeah, I don't think I know a single German word, to be honest. What's a German word?
Hello?
Genau.
Genau.
Genau. What does
Also-
genau mean?
Schnitzel,
Oh, Schnitzel's.
Bratwurst.
Yeah, sure.
Hamburger.
Perhaps I do. Perhaps I do know a few things. But we don't have much time left. I've got to go return something in a moment. But something I ask everyone. I try to ask everyone is, what's something we haven't spoken about that you'd like to impart on the listener of the coffee show?
I think like we could touch like a topic of the competition.
Mm.
That's everything there should change, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think generally competition SCA should change a bit also in a quality way to be more connected with the barista. So shortly for me, briefly, the competition world now is kind of template that people try to stick in and just understanding rules and get some points. And then because of the points, they get some trophies and then they have like, I don't know, good jobs, but it's not, should be not about that. I think it should be a really, again, you'll be fresh about the people, connection, and some knowledge, both sides, judges and the competitors. This should be very transparent because I think as a competitor, I put so much input, in investing time, money, and knowledge, learning everything, all my life out there. And then we just have like a cold paper score sheet.
I think our takeaway is like we've done competitions so many times and we won, but also for every win you have 5 losses, and just at the moment where you think you figured it out, you know what they want, you kind of know what they want, it's not what they want. And you like after every competition we're like, I don't know.
The trends
so
change.
that the only thing that we can say in the end is like, it's a game. We didn't win. But why? No idea.
Yeah, well, a lot of people discuss this, and I guess at the end of the day, there's no perfect way to do it.
Of
but
course,
there's definitely improvements that can be made, and I think it's an interesting point we're at because like the rules do like get tweaked slowly. For example, like you can use alternative milk now. It took a while, but it happened, and so I think it would be good. Hidenori Izaki I interviewed one time, so Hide,
yes,
Japanese
we do.
world barista champion a few years ago. He said if he were to change the rules, he would just smash the whole thing and start from scratch. So which I thought was interesting. But if you're listening to this and you want to lay out your own format in the comments, let us know. I'd be keen to know. But look, that's just about it. All we have time for. Thanks so much for coming here. I know you guys traveled from a distance, and there goes one of my cameras. But yeah, thanks so much. Vlad and Nicole for coming on, and look forward to having you again. Will you be at host?
Sure.
You will be?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. And
I have to take care of the baby.
Oh, yeah, you got a baby now. So, but your husband, Julian, will be. But
exactly.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining in, and that'll do us for this one. Hooroo.